The lights of the arena were still blazing, the echoes of chants filling the air like thunder. Roman Reigns had just finished another dominant performance, the tribal chief standing tall as always, his aura radiating untouchable strength. But what the cameras didn't show, what the fans didn't see, was the moment that would shock the entire WWE universe. A moment that involved none other than Steven Seagal. Yes, the Hollywood action legend, the martial artist who built his name on bone-crunching fight scenes and an aura of authority, was waiting in the shadows of the backstage corridors. And he wasn't there for applause. He was there to deliver a warning, one that Roman Reigns would never forget. The story begins with whispers. For months, WWE insiders had murmured about strange encounters backstage, quiet visits from names not usually connected with the squared circle. Steven Seagal, known for his love of discipline, martial arts, and control, had been spotted near production trucks, near private locker rooms, and even in hushed meetings with WWE officials. Many thought it was just Hollywood curiosity, the star dropping by for nostalgia or publicity. But no, this was something deeper. This was Steven Seagal stepping into the world of WWE with a purpose. Roman Reigns, riding high as the face of the company, had crushed challenger after challenger. John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes, no one seemed capable of toppling him. He was more than a champion. He was an empire. Yet with every empire comes arrogance, and with arrogance comes blind spots. Seagal saw something others missed, and when the legend locked eyes with the tribal chief backstage, the energy shifted like a sudden storm. Imagine the scene. The locker room, silent except for the hum of fluorescent lights. Roman, sweaty and intense, towel around his neck, looks up, and there he is. Steven Seagal, arms folded, eyes piercing, his presence filling the space without a word spoken. Roman smirks, because in his world, no one confronts the head of the table without consequences. But Seagal doesn't smirk back. Instead, he steps forward and delivers the warning that would echo through the halls of WWE history. "Roman," he said, his voice low but heavy, "I've seen men like you before. Warriors who believe they are untouchable. Kings who think their throne is eternal. But I'm telling you now, your empire has cracks. And if you don't listen, it's going to crumble faster than you can imagine." For a moment, Roman was stunned. No one talked to him like that. Not other wrestlers, not even Vince McMahon himself. But Seagal wasn't intimidated by the aura, by the titles, or by the dominance. He had fought in Hollywood wars, trained in real martial arts dojos, lived through battles far outside the WWE bubble. His words carried weight, and they weren't just empty warnings. Roman stood, chest out, meeting Seagal eye to eye. "This is my world," he said coldly. "No one warns the tribal chief." But Seagal only shook his head. That's exactly what they all said before they fell. What made this encounter truly shocking was the deeper truth behind it. Seagal hadn't come to WWE just to talk. Sources revealed that Seagal had been watching Roman's matches, analyzing his style, his weaknesses, his overconfidence. He knew Roman's dominance relied not just on strength, but on psychology, intimidation, and the shield of the bloodline. But Seagal saw fractures forming. Jey Uso's rebellion, Jimmy Uso's betrayal, Solo Sikoa's loyalty being tested, all of it pointed to an inevitable collapse. Seagal's warning wasn't random. It was precise, almost prophetic. He was telling Roman that the fall was closer than anyone realized. And here's the twist. Seagal didn't just stop at words, he demonstrated. In one of the most chilling backstage stories ever whispered in WWE, it said that Seagal stepped forward, and before Roman could react, he showcased a move so swift, so surgical, that Roman's own security team froze. A wrist lock, an arm control maneuver, the type of move that reminded everyone that Seagal wasn't just an actor, but a trained martial artist capable of ending a fight in seconds. Roman didn't fall, but he felt the sting, the reminder that even the strongest can be caught off guard. The tribal chief, for the first time in years, looked shaken. The tension was so thick backstage that night that wrestlers whispered about it for weeks. Some said Roman laughed it off later, calling Seagal just an old movie star. Others claimed Roman was visibly disturbed, pacing his locker room long after the encounter, replaying the words in his mind. "Your empire has cracks." The phrase became almost like a curse, foreshadowing the bloodline's eventual unraveling. But why did Steven Seagal care? Why step into WWE's world at all? The truth lies in Seagal's philosophy. For decades, he preached discipline, awareness, the idea that arrogance blinds warriors to their enemies. Seagal saw WWE as a stage, yes, but also as a reflection of real power struggles. And Roman Reigns, in his arrogance, embodied every cautionary tale Seagal had witnessed in real life. It wasn't about fame. It was about warning a man before the inevitable storm. In the months after the incident, strange things began happening. Roman suffered surprise attacks he didn't anticipate. His cousins questioned his leadership. Matches that once seemed easy became wars of attrition. And every time Roman looked over his shoulder, it was as if he could still hear Seagal's voice echoing, "Your empire has cracks." The WWE universe began to wonder. Was Seagal's warning the spark that triggered Roman's downfall? Did his words plant doubt in the tribal chief's mind, making him vulnerable to betrayal from within? WWE cameras never caught the moment, of course. The company never aired it, never mentioned it on commentary. But wrestlers talk, crew members whisper, and from those whispers, the legend grew. Steven Seagal, the action star, stepping into Roman Reigns' world not as a fan, not as a celebrity guest, but as a shadowy figure delivering prophecy. To this day, some believe Seagal knew more than anyone else, that he saw not just cracks in Roman's empire, but the very timeline of its collapse, that he foresaw Jey Uso's betrayal, Cody Rhodes' return, and the day Roman would finally fall from the mountaintop. What makes the story even more shocking is that Seagal never returned. That one night, that one warning, was all. No interviews, no appearances, no follow-ups. Like a ghost, he entered, delivered his message, and disappeared into the ether. And perhaps that's why it remains so powerful, because it wasn't about spotlight. It was about truth. The truth revealed in Roman's eyes, in his shaken stance, in the silence that followed. Today, when fans look back at Roman Reigns' era of dominance, they talk about his victories, his reign, his bloodline story. But in hushed tones, in backstage conversations, another narrative lives on. The night Steven Seagal appeared from the shadows, stood face to face with the tribal chief, and warned him that no empire lasts forever. And that, more than any championship, more than any promo, was the moment that truly revealed the cracks in Roman's throne. The truth is clear. Steven Seagal didn't just warn Roman Reigns. He predicted his fate.